Hello and welcome to the webinar, Filtering Out the Competition, How Hurricane Helps You Win on Quality and Price. I'm Scott Webb, editor of Aqua Magazine, and today we have with us Nathaniel Murphy, Director of Marketing at Hurricane Filters. Nathaniel has been a key member of the team since the company's launch in 2023. Before joining Hurricane, Nathaniel was instrumental in helping scale Guardian filtration to more than 10 million in annual cartridge filter sales, leveraging a combination of data-driven marketing, brand development, and strategic channel expansion. Nathaniel, thanks for coming. I'm excited to learn more from you about Hurricane.
Thank you for the intro, Scott. And thanks everyone for attending Filtering Out the Competition, How Hurricane Helps You Win on Quality and Price. This webinar, I'm going to be explaining the benefits of working with Hurricane Filters, why using our products are good for you and your business and your customers. Whether you're a retailer, a service pro, or another industry professional, our products can help you in your business. I wanted to keep this presentation simple and with a simple agenda. There's a few things I want to go over today. First, I'm just going to be talking about the features and benefits of Hurricane cartridge filters, why that matters to you and your business. I'm also going to be going over the basic details of our USA private label program. I'm going to tell you a bit about the story of our business. It's a little, revolves around the fact that we are proud to be an American manufacturer of high quality yet affordable pool and spa cartridge filters, DE grids, and even some pre-filled products. Finally, I'll let you know how you can connect with us, take advantage of our best pricing options. There's a couple of questions here you guys can answer, and uh, that will be really helpful for me specifically. So I'd love if you do answer those questions as they pop up. The first thing I want everyone to understand about us and walking away from this presentation understanding is that Hurricane filters are a made in the USA cartridge filter manufacturer. We offer over 250 of the top pool and spa cartridge filter SKUs. We are continuously adding new SKUs. I just added two new ones in the past week. Um, Customers routinely request things that we don't currently carry or aren't in our catalog, and we're able to manufacture it for them. So no matter whatever your regional or local specific needs are, we can certainly help you fill your cartridge filter or DE grid needs, or even with those pre-fill options. So without any further ado, let's dive in and learn specifically what makes Hurricane cartridge filters so good. We have three premium filter media options. I have the little picture here, but the most important part of a cartridge filter is the filter media. It makes up the largest volume of the product. It's the stuff that does the actual filtering of contaminants from your pool or spa water environment. Um, of our three tiers, we have tier one, which is our premium point bond. That is the white filter media. We also have our tier two, which is an elite blue antimicrobial point bond. And tier three is our platinum purple antimicrobial point bond. Our purple filter media gets a lot of attention at shows. It shows up really well on the shelves of stores. Um, so it's also the one we probably get the most questions about. I'm going to go over that a little bit in more depth right now. I'll go more over the benefits of point bond specifically in the next slide. But I wanted to really dive into the different filter media options. As part of the launch of our company, we did extensive market research. We found that 40% of customers are actively looking for or willing to try a premium product. So having three product tiers gives more choice for different customer segments. And we found that it's very beneficial to have a premium product specifically for a good 40% of your customers. As I said, the purple looks really cool, gets lots of attention. If you're a service pro, you can sell your customers on the superior performance of either that elite blue or that platinum purple. When you're buying it, the wholesale cost, the price difference when you're purchasing is small, but then you can have a higher margin and a higher markup on those premium products. And there are customers that will pay that. And that 40% number that we found in our research has held up pretty strongly. It's a pretty good correlation to our actual sales here over entering our third year in the pool and spa business. Um, for all three filter media options, um, they're all going to be filtering out 99% of contaminants in a properly installed and properly maintained system, whether that's a pool or spa. The thing we get the most questions about is that antimicrobial infusion. The antimicrobial infusion protects the media surface of a cartridge filter from the clogging effects of mold, mildew, bacteria, and also the environment within your pump, the area of your system that surrounds your cartridge filter directly. By inhibiting the growth of mold, mildew, bacteria, and those um, other organic matter. This helps extend the life of both the cartridge and reduce wear and tear on your pump, making the cartridge easier to clean, even the system easier to clean, because there's less buildup of that organic matter. Um, Organic matter like bacteria, mold, algae, it wants to protect itself. They're living organisms and they want to protect themselves from the harsh chemical environment of your pool, like chlorine. And they do that by creating something called biofilm. Biofilm creates a barrier between them and the chemicals of your water. And if you let it build up too much on your cartridge filter or your pump, it reduces water flow through the cartridge, making cleaning less effective and stressing your pump. It would, eventually causing your PSI to spike. And then if you're a service pro, you have to go and clean the filter, change the filter, or address the issue so that the pump is working properly. Biofilm is extremely, once built up, if you allow it to sort of get to that point, is extremely difficult to clean because the properties that make it resistant to chlorine make it resistant to cleaning chemicals, degreasers, and acid washes. So there is a real benefit to using an infused fabric. It's not just, oh, it looks cool because it's purple or blue. If you're in an environment prone to organic matter buildup, or you aren't cleaning your cartridges or equipment as often as maybe you should be, it will help that process, help keep the environment clean and functioning properly. Um, all of our fabrics are designed to be easy to clean. And we actually have three brand new state-of-the-art industrial pleaters that allow us to have an extremely high pleat per minute production capacity. So when we manufacture these, we can do it efficiently. And that's one of the reasons why we're able to keep costs down, is because of just how many cartridge filters we can make because of these pleaters. Now, I mentioned I would break down the difference between point bond and trilobal a little bit. Um, Trilobal is a great material. It's not, we use point bond, but trilobal was a revolutionary material when it was invented in 1960. But the industry has made engineering and manufacturing strides since 1960. Both options offer high quality filtration capacity, but there are some key differences in the manufacturing process. And I'm going to use, to make this easy to understand, the spaghetti analogy. The spaghetti analogy is specifically for trilobal. So trilobal or nonwoven, trilobal flat bond nonwovens use a combination of random nonwoven fibers, um, which are the spaghetti noodles in my analogy. And the spaghetti noodles are held together by a bonding filler agent, which is the sauce in my analogy. So from a filtration standpoint, it's the fibers or the spaghetti that does the heavy lifting for filtering out contaminants. The bonding agent is just there to hold everything together, and that bonding agent doesn't filter as effectively as the fibers or the spaghetti noodles. So since the manufacturing process is essentially random, there's an uneven distribution. So just like in your plate of spaghetti, one forkful might have more noodles and one might have more sauce. It's just like that when you're actually manufacturing that flat bond material. So you get areas with less fibers that don't filter as effectively, and other areas that have more binding agent, which lets stuff pass through more and is more prone to clogging. So the areas with more binding agent and less fibers get clogged faster. This leads to uneven filtration, which can stress your pump, make cleaning more difficult, or less effective, makes your filter media less effective, which is not what you want. Point bond addresses this problem in a different way. Instead of using a binding agent, it uses a uniform heating process that essentially melts point dots onto the fabric to hold it all together. So whenever you're looking at point bond, you'll see little points evenly distributed throughout it. That's what's actually holding it together. And the benefit of that is water follows the path of least resistance. So on the point bond, the water flows directly into all those fibers rather than going into like a filler agent. So it creates a more even and uniform surface area for water filtration. And that's the big benefit of it. There is one other aspect that I think often um, doesn't get talked about enough with filter media, and that's the concept of a filter cake. Um, Before talking about the other parts of the cartridge, I just want to add this in here. And it's something that you can easily explain to customers, especially someone who's like a service pro or someone who knows their customers is cleaning their own cartridges. Um, Educating them about this concept can help save them time and energy on cleaning. Um, and the concept of the filter cake is basically that as a filter is filtering out debris, those particles of the debris um, build up on the outside of, in this case, the filter media. And those particles, the large particles, actually create a barrier that helps trap additional smaller particles in a natural way, just creating additional filtration. So basically, the smaller particles are running into and being stopped by the larger particles that are caked onto the surface of the cartridge, hence the name filter cake. This is a real reason why you shouldn't constantly clean your cartridges. Um, a little bit of buildup is good. It actually makes the cartridge filter more effective. And because we use point bond, that filter cake builds up uniformly rather than sort of creating pockets of thicker and thinner areas, ultimately making cleaning easier. Now that I've talked your ear off a bit about the material, the filter media, I wanted to talk a bit about another main part of the cartridge filter, and that is our max flow core. Um, the eye of each Hurricane cartridge filter is our max flow core. We've designed a uniquely durable single injection molded core through a partnership that we have with a US-based plastics supplier. Our injection molded max flow core offers solid single piece construction to optimize water flow. Result is a highly efficient and extremely strong cartridge that will hold up better to the pressures of the pool and spa filtration environment compared to cartridges with either thinner cores, different material cores, or multi-piece cores, or the traditional punched PVC cores. So at the end of the day, a strong core means the filter itself is very strong and less prone to breaking or collapsing. Um, a few years ago, there were some Chinese cores on the market that sort of they cut corners here on their core specifically, and a ton of people were complaining because their cartridges were literally collapsing from the cheap plastic as it broke. And if a cartridge core collapses, the cartridge is unusable and must be replaced. Obviously, that's not a good thing, and that's not a problem that you'll really ever encounter with a Hurricane cartridge filter because of the strength of our cores. We also have our signature turquoise resin end caps. We mold all of them in-house in Greenville, PA. They are made of a more thermally pliable polyresin, and that simply means it handles thermal expansion better. Obviously, pool and spa water can go through big temperature swings, which can be hard on more brittle plastics, causing them to break from the shrinking and expanding. Or if you're leaving your cartridges unused during the winter out in like a shed or something, that's where it can also cause a problem. So our resin polyresin end caps are less likely to snap or break because of that increased pliability. Of course, we have a high resistance to the harsh pool chemicals, especially compared to some older style or cheaper polyresins. Um, and we worked directly with a US-based plastics partner, an engineering firm, to help us specially engineer our end caps and refine our manufacturing process in a way to reduce resin waste by up to 15%. Now, that is important because that 15% reduction in waste, the end cap might not make the bulk of a cartridge filter, but it is a pretty significant portion of the cost of a cartridge filter when manufacturing it. So saving 15% on that actually saves more than 15% on the final cost of the cartridge. And instead of us just eating that margin as profit, we pass that savings on to our customers. And those moves that we're making around the margins throughout our products is one of the ways that we're able to do that. We also have our double glued banding. Most cartridges use a single glued banding. We basically do a full glue bath soak to the inner and outer surfaces. This creates a hydrophobic barrier that is more than twice as rigid as a single glued band. And the banding further supports the media pleat and the overall filter's in structural integrity. Um, Again, some people, if the bands break because they start to break down in harsh pool environments because they're just glued once, this can cause the pleats to sort of misalign or even the pleats to blow out. And if the pleated filter media blows out because the bands have collapsed essentially or ripped, then the cartridge filter needs to be replaced. So we have extremely strong double glued bands to essentially eliminate that problem. We also use a more tear resistant material at the base layer of the band itself. So so not only are they double glued, the base material is stronger than what most other people are using. And we know and we understand that no one likes to clean cartridge filters. Can be messy. Service pros complain about it all the time. It takes time. It takes time to do, and that's time that they feel would be better spent offering other value-added services to their customers. So a big thing that we are always trying to focus on is making sure our cartridges are easier to clean. Um, and going back to what I talked about with the filter cake and the uniform water dispersion from point bond helps create a more uniform surface area with less pockets of trouble areas that are clogging or not as densely packed with fibers as other areas. The extremely durable cores that I just talked about also means there's a lower chance of your core breaking while you're handling the cartridge for cleaning. You can drop, yeah, not telling people to just go around dropping or slamming their cartridge filters, but ours can take a lot of abuse, especially compared to some of the other ones on the market. Um, our end caps are less brittle because of that thermal pliability. Again, that just means if you knock it against something, it's less likely to break. Our extra strong banding can withstand higher water pressure and longer soaks in cleaning materials as part of the cleaning process. Um, and again, it's just something that we think helps add to the cleanability, which helps makes everyone's life easier, whether it's the end customer or the service pro. And besides our cartridge filters, we also sell DE grids and some pre-filter options. We have over 20 DE grid SKUs, and we're currently finalizing the US tooling and a specially designed woven fabric to allow for a fully made USA product on the DE grid. Um, and we also have some of the pre-fill options, which are the stuff you add onto a hose attachment when filling a spa, pool, pond, or other large water fixture. They're great little add-ons, particularly for service pros, as just another service they can offer, and we sell these at a really good price as well. And I do want everyone to be able to walk away from here understanding their hurricane difference. We understand that we don't have 30 years of goodwill built up with customers. We know service pros and retailers don't necessarily want to risk ordering a product that may cause problems for their customers. That's why we're so focused on having a high quality product and offering affordability. Um, you know, we are a made in the USA product. It's not just a talking point, it's part of our mission, it's part of our story. We have high quality products made efficiently by an experienced US based employees. Because we're in the US, we're faster, we're more responsive, we have domestic shipping, so our pricing can be cheaper on shipping, and we're able to get stuff to people faster. You don't have to wait for a container to come in and be imported. Um, we want to serve US or we want to serve businesses and customers of all shapes and sizes all over the US and Canada. Um, we're making moves with our manufacturing to help reduce waste on both the product level and the production level. This adds affordability savings to our customers, but it also helps make our products eco-friendlier and more sustainable. This is something, as part of our market research as well, we found really resonates with millennial pool and spa owners. Millennials now own over 50% of the houses in the US, or over 50% of millennials own houses, I should say. And that's the sort of the biggest new market segment for pool and spa. So anything that can help get those customers aligned with you and your business is something that we think is good. And we found that that eco-friendly push has been something that they care about. And of course, all these changes increases affordability, and we pass those cost efficiencies on to our customers rather than just pocketing the difference. Now that I told you all about how awesome our products are, I wanted to detail a little bit more about our US private label capacity. Um, this program allows for custom branding for you and your business. Private label allows you to build your own branded products. This helps you build customer loyalty, helps you improve margin because you get to set your own prices, and you don't have competition, whether it's in e-commerce or just the other stores or service pros around you. Um, as of right now, we are currently the only full service US based private label option. And full service means we do custom tooling for your end caps. You can get your logo or part numbers on the end caps. Um, we do branded banding with whether your logo or a word mark. Um, you can get a custom label. We can design it for you, or if you have your own designers or your own concepts, we'll happily do those when manufacturing your product. And we offer our private label options in our purple, blue, and white media materials. Um, and this picture here shows a little bit. You can see the label. This is obviously one of ours, but that when I say the label, you could have your brand name there where it says Hurricane, your part number there. You can see the bands we have our name and a little logo. You can actually get your information on that. And again, this helps build customer loyalty and inhibit the competition, whether locally or online. Essentially, we have two program options. Um, the first option is maybe the more accessible one. It's labels only. So these would be Hurricane cartridges, but your own unique label. There's a minimal upfront design charge. And when I say minimal, we're talking, just a couple $100. This is not something that you need to invest thousands of dollars in. Um, And we have a no minimum quantity per SKU on this program. We do have a 2,000 filter minimum per year commitment and a further breakdown of 500 filter minimum per order. So essentially, if you were just doing 500, you would have to order that 4 times in the year to hit your 2,000 yearly minimum. But you can mix and match and combine SKUs to obtain that minimum. And you don't have to get the exact same SKUs from order to order. So you can be very flexible while still having that private label and offering that to your customers. We also have the full private label capacity. This is your own name or logo on the end caps, part numbers on the end caps, um, your customized banding, of course the custom label like you would in option one. Some of these have a minimal one-time charge. So again, this is not something you need to pay the initial charge every time you're ordering or every time you're doing new SKUs. It's just basically to cover some of our tooling costs. So there's a one-time charge if to just for us to in-house make um, the a way to mold your name into the end cap. And we also have an if you choose to do your own part numbers, we do have a one-time charge per part number, but we save those for all future orders. It's a relatively small investment for to get truly your own products that no one else can compete with. Um, that program does require a 25% down payment of the total order value. And that program, we do have a 100 filter minimum per SKU because they have your name on the entire product. We can't resell these. No one else can resell these because they're your product. So that's why we do have um, that 100 filter minimum per SKU. If you compare that to going overseas, most overseas manufacturers are going to have a much higher minimum. You're going to have to order minimum 500, if not 1,000 per SKU. Um, we do have a higher minimum per order, 2,000 filters, but again, you can combine SKUs to obtain that minimum as long as you're at least getting 100 per SKU. So we offer a lot of flexibility with this private label program. Again, no one right now in the US is doing it to this extent. And if you were to try and go private label overseas, you would probably have to do a much bigger upfront investment, and then you're going to have to wait for it to be shipped from overseas, landed overseas, and then get to you that way. So because we're shipping everything from our factory in Pennsylvania, even just the shipping cost is way lower. Uh, I also wanted to talk about a little bit of our story. Um, I mentioned a few times here that we have a US based manufacturing team. Our team actually has a background in cartridge filter manufacturing, um, because we have it may be our third year entering the pool and spa season, but a lot of our team has extensive experience from a previous company making cartridge filters. So we're able to leverage all those different team members' experience, and the basically it's allowed us to avoid a lot of the new mistakes and the rookie mistakes that a new manufacturing operation would have. And because of that, we have really high efficiency. And with that high efficiency, we are able to again, help our customers by passing that cost savings on to them. Um, our story is not complete without talking about this guy here. This is Alec Miller. Um, I'm sure anyone who's come to any of our trade shows or talked to us has probably met Alec. He's very passionate about cartridge filters, knows a ton about cartridge filters. Uh, his background, he helped build the previous fledgling cartridge filter operation from a $200,000 per year and two employee enterprise into over $12 million per year in annual cartridge filter sales. He did that all in just about 7 years. And he helped create a team of over 40 people. The previous cartridge filter business he ran was purchased by a bigger player in the industry. They themselves were then purchased by one of the industry giants. And then they decided to shutter the US portion of manufacturing operations and move production overseas. Alec moved on. Once his non-compete was over, he was able to form a new company, and we were even able to hire back some of that local talent who had been laid off. So we really do feel like part of our story and part of our mission is the classic American dream. We're a younger upstart company. We're trying to make waves in an established industry by treating customers of all shapes and sizes right, serving them to the best of our abilities, helping them grow as they help us grow. And you know that's really a huge part of our company culture. And again, why is this important? Why does this matter, to you, the end customer? Um, all of us in business know that obstacles and issues come up, problems you've had to overcome when growing your own business. Maybe you've even fantasized about what would you do differently if you could start over? And that's sort of the reality we're living in here right now. We're able to avoid mistakes and inefficiencies that we made in the beginning of the previous company. We're able to streamline our processes without legacy bloat. We rebuilt our entire production line. We didn't get any old equipment or leftover equipment from previous company. The benefit to that is we're not running into those growing pains of having a shop set up just to do $200,000 worth of cartridge filter sales. We're set up right from the get-go to be serving millions of dollars of cartridge filter sales annually. And by doing that, we're able to stay on top of that efficiency. And again, I know I've said efficiency so many times. It's because we pass those efficiency cost savings on to you, and that's a huge reason why we have such an affordable product. Another benefit when we were started, we had a vast network of industry relationships. We were able to work with them and get good deals to help control costs. They bought into our story, the American dream. They knew where we wanted to take this thing, and were able to work with us to help, give us good deals or deferred payments on stuff and again, instead of pocketing that margin, we're passing those savings on to our customers. Um, we also know what it's like to face, the closing down of a business or the reorganizing of a team that allows us to understand the human level of business. These are people's jobs and their livelihoods. And we take that really seriously. We know that when we're working with our customers, it's their jobs and their livelihoods. So we want to be customer forward and we're flexible, we're adaptable. We want to help businesses of all sizes. No one is too little or too big for Hurricane's help. Um, a little add on here. We are largely immune from the tariffs. When we started the company, the tariffs weren't really a talking point. We hadn't planned for that, but it is something we benefited from because we're, again, a made in American company with even made in America sourcing partners. So most businesses aren't immune from inflation, but we're at least immune largely as of right now from the tariffs. Um, we're building something sustainable. We're doing it with pride and passion as a US based business, looking to try to, take the industry forward and help a lot of people along the way and grow as big as we can. Now, how to buy from Hurricane. We have regional and even a Canadian sales rep. Um, our regional reps provide excellent service to customers all over the country and in Canada. Each rep is expertly in tune with their local regions and markets. So no matter where you are, you can get Hurricane products to use in your business. Uh, some people watching this today who are in the industry or been in the industry a while, might know Scott Gleason. He came aboard as our national sales manager, has been doing a really excellent job. Um, and I encourage you to write down here, the number to call for your particular region. You'll be able to access this webinar. It'll get emailed to you afterwards, if you need to see this. But if you're at all unsure of where or how to buy hurricane products, how to get the best price, reach out to us. We will answer all questions. We'll point you in the right direction on who to buy from so that you are getting the best price. Um, and getting the exact SKUs and everything you need. Our team is adaptable, and whether you're talking to Scott Gleason or Alec or one of the sales reps, everyone's very knowledgeable and willing to help and willing to point you in the right direction. There's a few final takeaways I wanted you guys to make sure everyone understood. We are entering the final ordering period of our early buy. So it is still the best time to order ahead of the 2026 season. Um, and keep in mind, just because you're ordering in December doesn't mean you have to sit on inventory for months. Most of our early buy customers order and then we don't start shipping the product until 2026. So you're not bogged down by inventory or running into any of those issues. Um, again, I'm probably beating you over the head with it, but I do want everyone to understand we are an authentic made in the USA company. We have really high quality products, but also amazing prices because of the efficient way we're doing everything. We're passing those cost savings on to you. Um, where some people will say they're made in America, but really they're just getting components shipped in from overseas and assembling them in the US. Um, we're a made in America company with made in America and a workforce, um, and that's not going to change. We have our private label capability. We have programs that fit small and large businesses alike. We're willing to work with businesses of all shapes and sizes. That private label program has been very popular. And again, the big benefit of it is it allows you to sort of not have to deal with online competition, or at least not as much, or even some local competition. If you're a locally based business, people, if they're buying the private label, then they have to go back to you to keep buying the same product. Um, we have our exclusive Platinum Purple product offering. Obviously, we love it, but customers specifically love it. We're getting really good feedback from customers. Everyone at the trade shows comes and talks about the Platinum Purple. Um, and again, it's a great add-on for your business because it's that top tier premium product that allows you to offer more than one option. And again, that 40% of customers are looking for a premium option. Platinum Purple is the perfect fit for that. Um, I know I just mentioned people come up to us on trade shows. I also wanted to do a quick shout out of the upcoming trade shows that we will be at. This is just the ones in the next 2 months. We've got a lot more after these, but we'll be at the Mid America Show in Indianapolis, the Southeast Pool and Spa Show in Nashville, the Pool and Spa Show in AC. That's a huge one for us. I will be there. So if you're watching this webinar and you want to come say hi and talk to me directly, I'll be there at the end of January in Atlantic City. We're going to the UAG trade show, the Western Pool and Spa show in California, and the Southwest Pool and Spa show in San Antonio, Texas. Um, we truly love hearing feedback from everyone, and the trade shows, you can of course call us anytime, email us anytime, but coming and talking to us face to face, seeing our products, holding them in our hands. The trade shows are just such a great opportunity to connect that way. And we're staying active on the shows we're going to. I also invite everyone here to connect with us. I just mentioned you can email us. This is our sort of general inquiries email, help at Hurricane Ventures. Our website, if you want to see our products, hurricanepoolfilters.com. One of the easiest and best ways to talk to us is over the phone. You can call us 724-402-1326. someone from our sales team or customer service team, or even Alec himself or Scott Gleason will happily talk to you and answer questions and help figure out the way to make Hurricane work with you and your business. I also invite you, if you're on LinkedIn, to follow us on LinkedIn. Here's the link. If you go there, it's just company/Hurricane Ventures, all one word. And if you're on Instagram, you can eh, our tag is at hurricane_filters. We're regularly posting content. It's another way to connect with us and to learn more about our products and what we're up to in our whatever current deals we have or who we're working with.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel. I think we have time for a few questions. We won't be able to get to all of these due to time constraints, but we will get to some of them. And some of these you either answered directly or obliquely during your presentation, but I think they bear some re-emphasis. So I will get to these right here. Natalie Lee asks, is your media manufactured in the US too, or does this get held up on shipping containers and face tariffs?
So we have a US source broker for our media. Um, so in full disclosure, to make sure we have all our bases covered, we get media from both the US and we have the ability to outsource it. I'll also, I guess, fill you in on a little secret. We are currently engineering and working on something very big and very exciting with our filter media, which will eliminate any of those outsourced problems in the future.
Yeah, I've got
That's a good question.
several questions here relating to the colors of the different materials and the differences. So, what is the actual difference between the white, blue, and purple fabric?
So so they're all point bond as of right now. The blue and purple are both infused with an antimicrobial coating. This antimicrobial infusion does not come off when you wash or clean the cartridge, and it's designed to basically help reduce biofilm and eliminate bacteria and protect the layer, the filter media on your cartridge within your pump so that it works better and is easier to clean. There's some minor engineering differences between the blue and the purple, but the main thing is they're antimicrobial. The white is our base level non-antimicrobial infused option. All three are still going to filter out 99% of contaminants. It's just you get that extra layer of protection from an antimicrobial.
And what is the price difference between those three?
The wholesale price difference, we're talking, it might just on obviously certain SKUs a small spa cartridge filter is a lot cheaper than a big pool filter. But we're talking about the difference between like $1, sometimes $2 between those offerings at the wholesale price. If you are then selling it retail or you're a service professional and selling it, you can add an upcharge. And we know people who offer the premium products at, 5, 10, $15 more than the base level for and that's all profit for them basically.
And do you offer all your SKUs in all three colors?
Yeah, so currently we have purple and blue for the antimicrobial infusion for the most popular pool and spa cartridge SKUs. We are always expanding that, and even outside of private label, if you just come to us and you say, "Hey, I really want this SKU in purple or blue," and we don't currently offer it in that, we'll work on that. We'll make it for you, and essentially, we can offer every SKU in all three colors. Right now, our sitting inventory, we have more white than purple, though.
Gotcha. Um, Here's another one. As a relatively new manufacturer in the filtration industry, what has customer reception been like?
Customer reception has been very, very good and very positive. We haven't quite been around long enough to meet with those customers who have, popped a pool filter in and ignored it for 5 years, to see what it looks like. But so far, again, because we have the super strong cores, we have the cleanable filter media material. We haven't really gotten any feedback about like cartridge filters breaking or failing. Um, in terms of our production process, we're really concerned and on top of eliminating and reducing defects. 2 weeks ago, actually, we had our first zero defects day, which is a pretty big deal when you're making thousands of cartridges a day. So yeah, customer reception has been great. The people love the cartridges. We haven't been running into problems with performance or breakage or anything like that.
Can I buy direct, or do I have to go through a dealer or a distributor network to buy Hurricane products?
That's a great question. If you're part of a specific buying group or already buy directly from specific distributors, going through them will give you the best prices. Otherwise, simply contact our sales team and we'll point you in the direction of the best person to buy from to get you the best price.
Okay. I think I've got time for two more. Um, this is from Mike Ellefson. I've been unable to locate a calendar. Do you have, or a catalog? Do you have a catalog which includes cross-reference information to other products?
Yes, so in our catalog, which we have a digital version that I can email you if you contact that or email that help at Hurricane Ventures after this. We'll send you the most recent catalog. The catalog lets you find out based on replacement part of the OEM of some of the other top replacement manufacturers or just by the size starting with the outer diameter. So it's a comprehensive catalog, very easy to pick and choose exactly what you need from our part number if you know someone else's or you know the size of the product.
Gotcha. One more, and this goes back to the different filter media we were talking about. Um, are the weights of the media the same for each of the different options that you mentioned?
Um, Yeah, pretty much. If you had like if someone's asking for this and they want to manufacture something specifically in a specific like with a specific media difference and they wanted white and purple or something to be different. But essentially the weight is basic because the weights on particular cartridge SKUs are specific to the pump they go in. Like the manufacturer designed a specific weighted material to go in a specific pump, so we match those. And again, there's some material differences in the engineering of our density. But yeah, essentially it's the same. But if there was a reason someone wanted something manufactured in a different density, you'd have to talk to our sales team, but we could probably work with someone on that.
Gotcha. That's all we got time for today. I'd like to thank you, Nathaniel, and especially our attendees for spending our valuable time together. It's always busy in the pool and spa industries these days, so we can all get back to work.
All right, thank you very much, Scott. Thanks everyone for attending. If you had other questions that didn't happen, again, feel free to connect with us and we'll answer your questions as quickly as they come.
Sounds good.